Everybody, before we get into this morning's update, I want to go over a quick overview of what's transpiring here in the last 24 hours in crypto. First, Bitcoin is over 29,000 as we broke out of the descending triangle as we were showing yesterday, and now we've come up to the top of the channel at around 29,000. Our next layer to get to would be to break and hold the 30,000 level, and that's where the CME gap is. So it's all but certain that that's where we're heading up to. We're going to fill that gap, and then we're going to see if we can continue up farther. And then with XRP, as you've noticed, Bitcoin's gone up several thousand points, and yet XRP is still stuck in this broadening wedge and still has not invalidated the death cross in the 4-hour time frame. We're sitting firmly right now at the 493 level, so we're going to take a very, very close look at the XRP technical analysis and see what needs to happen, not only if we were going to break down to the bottom of the wedge, but what do we have to do to break up and out? Since we did hit on the bottom of the broadening wedge, the fourth hit of support at 46 cents. Can we validate a push up and out? We would need to get over the 494 and hold, and then ultimately we need to break over the 508 level and break out of that area. That's a very strong resistance, and then you have an even bigger resistance, which I call the major resistance right now at 537, because we got beaten down so many times and then got shot down into the 4-hourly death cross. So we're going to take a look very closely at how we can invalidate the death cross, or if we're going to confirm it and continue pushing down, despite the fact that Bitcoin is over 29,000 right now. I know a lot of crypto is running, but we've got to stay emotionless. We got to have a winner's mindset. So it's our job today. We can either start as victims or we can start as the winners. And I choose the winner's mentality. And in the toughest of times, we allow the pattern to be discerned for us and our perception to be, formed by what the technical analysis is showing us, what we're seeing on the charts. It's not based on our personal emotion. We're basing it on what the pattern formations are doing. So make sure you hit that like button. It's going to greatly help push me through the analytics. And remember, the winner's mindset. We're going to make winning plays in the roughest of times. Good morning, 9:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So as we can see, Bitcoin's up 2.5% to 29,000. XRP's down 0.06% at 493. So let's first take a look at Bitcoin, see what has transpired here in the last 24 hours. So we can see on the Bitcoin chart here, we broke out of the descending triangle. Now we circled right where that CME gap would be if we broke up and held that 28,000. We figured that we'd have to come up and shoot to this 30,000 level, but the top of the channel still, we're not up to the top. We're still dead center of this channel. It's 30,000 resistance roughly, 28,000 support. So it's about a 2,000 point channel. If Bitcoin can get up there, it fills in the CME gap. And that would be an interesting spot, to say the least. That could either be the end of the formation, or we can finally push up and out over 30,000 and then get into these areas we talked about a long time ago, 32,800, 33,938. But that's not the end of the formation. We could possibly come way up higher if we were to break out, but that's a long ways to go. This is just heading out into the future. If we were to continue this kind of momentum, we could end up finding ourselves up at that 38,215. So that's the top end scenario. But right now, as it is, Bitcoin is trying to push up and over 30,000. That's where we have to hit our next point in the 4-hourly. We've had a golden cross. So in time, we should come up to that CME gap now that we're over 29K. And we should be able to fill that section, whether we're going to be bullish out of it or not. That's what remains to be seen. So just pay attention this morning. We had a breakout of the descending triangle. Remember, what I really wanted to happen, which it didn't, I wanted this to build pressure all the way, and I wanted a breakout down there. Now, we had a build of pressure, and then 3/4 of the way, we had a typical breakout moment. Now, is this a fake out? Is this going to be something of standard? Can this continue? That's what we're going to find out. Can we break up, maybe push out? So that's what we're looking for. Standard rejection here would be the CME gap at 30K if this is bearish. If it's bullish, we're going to get over 30K and we're going to start pushing. There's a chance once you fill that gap, you have a sudden drop just to push back out. So now it's going to be a lot of volatility here. It's we're on Wednesday. We've got a couple more days of the trading week. So pay attention to that with Bitcoin and now XRP 492. And I know a lot of people probably woke up this morning expecting a push, but you can't circumvent the pattern, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a death cross, death cross in the 4-hour time frame, and the only way to invalidate this is we've got to pull this pattern back up. And right now we're trying. Notice how it's tightened up in the area. So we need to get on top of 494. We haven't given back the 20-day right now. At any time, if you see 477 get rejected, that'll signal an 8% drop to 44 cents. So just remember that. That's something that we already know from our technicals. If we lose 47.7, that will signal a drop down to the 44-cent bottom of the broadening wedge, and that's also the inverted head and shoulders neckline. But as it is, if we break up, we've talked about this scenario as well, because we're letting the charts dictate what's going to happen, not our personal emotion. So right now we have the bullish cross in the 3-hourly, but we're still getting rejected by the 200-day in the 3-hour, and the 2-hour we're trying to push over. We're hitting that support here on the 2-hourly at 49 cents, 491. And now the 200 we're being squeezed at 496. But I mean, to me, we got the daily time frame we're dealing with now. That's firm. We need to get up and hold the 496 level. Otherwise, a rejection up here. This, you still have to pay attention to this being a right arm for XRP. If we get rejected by the daily, it's telling us we're coming back down to that 44 cent roughly. 452 would be the 200-day support in the daily. So we really need a burst of volume if we want XRP to push up and out. The main thing we need to do today is get over 50 cents and hold. We need to get over that psychological level and then ultimately push up and hold the 508 level to somewhat invalidate this death cross in the 4-hourly. Anything short of that, this is just volatile movements. And if XRP got a massive sell candle, it could be a big problem. So as it is, we're on top of the 200-day right now in the 4-hourly. So we're looking to stay above the 491 level. That's just as simple as I can make it. If we break the 491 level, which is going to push us back down to the 482, then you've got the 477 underneath. And as long as we stay on the 477 as support, this pattern is not done. As long as we don't break down 477, this pattern hasn't given way. But the moment we do give that up, that would be an 8% drop to 477. Now with the movement of Bitcoin, it makes you wonder, is this getting ready to pop out? Now we know when the Bitcoin dominance chart is over 50%, that's not a great sign for altcoins, which is where Bitcoin's at right now. It's controlling more than 50% of the total crypto market cap. So that's an interesting spot to be in. So if it's me this morning, I'm watching firmly the first of 494. We're trying to get on top and hold that right now. If we do that, we need to watch the 50-cent psychological level. And then to me, we can't get excited until we break and hold the 508 level. And that would give us a little room to run to the 537. After that's the 558, and then you've got the top of the broadening wedge at 585, and that would also be the pattern double top. If you can break and hold the broadening wedge to the top side as a breakout, your technical target is 65 cents. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this update, make sure you hit that like button, as it will greatly help push me through the analytics. If you're looking to trade your favorite crypto, XRP or like, we've got Uphold in the USA. It's our last stand, the only ones who still support us. You've got Mexi and or BitGet if you can use it. No spot fees on the buy and sell. And you can future straight up to 250x long you're shorting the market, which I don't advise. But what I do is I buy my XRP from either one of those two exchanges, and then I send it back to Uphold where I trust the most. If you want to show me some personal support, or if you want to show appreciation for my work because you are trying to support it, video description below and or pinned comments, you can join Tom's Army. There's a mission statement there why it's so important, how you allow me to keep creative control. The reason why you don't see any paid promotion, paid advertisements, or paid sponsorships is because of your generosity of joining Tom's Army. Remember today, it's your job to choose positivity. In a very volatile market, it's going to be very difficult to navigate this landscape. And right now we've got volatility with Bitcoin, and we've got even more volatility as it looks like with XRP as it's going up and down, up and down. So Bitcoin seems to be hunting the CME gap at 30,000. And now it's our job with XRP to see, are we going to hold 494 and ultimately get over that 508 level and push up? Or are we going to get an invalidation here, come below the 477 and get rejected to signal an 8% drop to 44 cents? That is the way the markets are setting up, and that is what you need to pay attention to.